I, like many other young adults, am depressed, overworked, and desperate for a small drop of serotonin. Now, how do I go about doing this? Well, I dive right into the nostalgia rabbit hole in an attempt to relive my childhood and feel just an ounce of joy. Welcome, everyone. So, that may have been just a bit heavy, but I didn't know how else to explain why I'm watching a children's movie from the 90s instead of my typical generic romantic comedy. It's a new thing I want to do every now and again to give you and myself a break. I thought it'd be real fun to immerse myself in everything that preschool-aged Poe would enjoy. And in order to really immerse myself, I thought it would be fun to eat a nostalgic snack as well. Enter goldfish. Not sponsored, obviously, but it'd be cool. Let's get into the movie. Depending on how fast I can get this done, this video has either been uploaded on or the day after Earth Day. So I thought I'd pick a nostalgic movie with a similar theme. FernGully, The Last Rainforest, directed by Bill Croyer and starring Samantha Mathis from other early 90s films such as Super Mario Brothers and Little Women, and some TV appearances like in House and Salem's Lot. And Jonathan Ward, who you might know from the 1988 cult classic Mac and Me. There's some hilarious reviews of Mac and Me by Drew Gooden and Jamie French that I highly recommend. FernGully also has some notable actors in supporting roles, such as Robin Williams, Tim Curry, and Christian Slater. It was released April 10th, 1992, following nearly 3 years of production. FernGully is based on Diana Young's stories of the same name. Her then-husband and producer, Wayne Young, stated that their motivation in making this movie was his passion for the environment. Now, for the synopsis. Krista is a fairy who lives in FernGully, a rainforest in Australia, and has never seen a human before. In fact, she's told that they are extinct. But when a logging company comes near the rainforest, she sees that they do exist, and even accidentally shrinks one of them, a boy named Zach. Now her size, Zach sees the damage that the company does and helps Krista to stop not only them, but an evil entity named Hexus, who feeds off pollution. I more remember watching the trailer for FernGully as a wee child than I do watching the actual film. I don't think my family owned it on VHS, and if it wasn't on VHS, then I didn't watch it. I believe the last time I did watch the full movie was around like a decade ago when I first got Netflix. I thought I remembered liking this movie a lot, but I don't know anymore. Well, let's just dig into some so-so retelling, and I'll explain later. There's another goldfish before we continue. These are dry as hell. I don't know why I liked these as a kid. I was addicted to salt, that's why. Any salty snack. Well, like every other kid, I liked sweets too, but salty snacks. Like, I remember specifically, I would lick my finger at the end of the bag, and then dip it in and just scoop up all the salt. If it was pretzels, goldfish, chips, I just wanted the salt. I don't know what was wrong with me. I'm gonna have high cholesterol. I can see it. I'm putting them away because I gotta talk. We start off with a dramatic retelling of the history of the fairies of FernGully and humans. Long ago, the two species worked together and lived in harmony. Then one day, an evil entity or spirit thing named Hexus rolled up and ruined everything. It looks like he showed up after a volcanic explosion or something. Anyway, Hexus thrived off of pollution, which either killed the humans or drove them away, leading to the fairies to believe that they went extinct. The fairy leader, Magi, was able to banish Hexus into a tree where he's been brewing for however long. This is all very interesting, right? Well, Krista, Magi's apprentice or heir or something, doesn't seem to think so because she seems awfully distracted. Magi tries to instill the importance of learning the magic of nature in Krista, but it doesn't seem to stick. So off Krista goes to fly around with some boy If you haven't noticed, this is our female protagonist. She kind of looks familiar, but I'll get into that later. Oh, this boy, his name's Pips, and he's voiced by Christian Slater. Pips is clearly into Krista, but the lovely lady doesn't seem to reciprocate these feelings. It doesn't matter now, because it's race time. Oh, and here comes a gang of, I guess, ladybug beetle racers or whatever. The two that talk might sound familiar, and that's because they're voiced by comedy duo Cheech and Chong. Their characters' names are Stump and Root, and they are not important. While flying through the forest, Krista decides to go above the canopy, and everyone is really worried.
Never go above the canopy. Never go above the canopy.
Krista!
She's obviously astounded by the view and notices something that she's never seen before. It's smoke. Right before a bird comes flying in for a quick snack. After a quick escape, Krista heads to Maggie to tell her all that she saw. Maggie gives her a little vocab lesson on what smoke and a mountain is.
There was this enormous rock, like a...
Mountain.
It looked like a strange black cloud rising out of the earth.
Smoke, I should think.
But tells her to pay it no mind. She also squeezes in another lesson, this time showing Krista how to help plants grow with magic. When talking with Pips later, Robin Williams' character comes crashing in. He's a bat and a victim to animal testing named Batty Coda. All the fairies don't believe him when he tells them that humans still exist, so he lays down a sick beat.
I rock and I ramble, my brain is scrambled.
It's so bad. It's not Robin's fault. It's just very 90s and reminiscent of cheesy Dare raps. Do y'all remember Dare? Crap was crazy. Moving on. After our musical break, Krista flies off to Mount Warning to see the mystical humans for herself, much to Batty's dismay. He follows her and tries to warn her against it all to no avail. When they reach a clearing, Batty decides to stay behind while Krista continues on.
You should wait here for me.
This is a fabulous idea. I really think we should fly with that.
Now we're finally introduced to the infamous humans in a giant machine of some sort. We meet two bozos that I don't remember the names of, generic guy number 1 and generic guy number 2, and Zach, our male protagonist. It's Zach's job to go around and mark these trees for cutting, but he's a silly city kid who goofs off and listens to his Walkman instead. While he's making his way through his sector, he notices the gnarliest looking tree and accidentally tags it while trying to kill a bug with his spray paint. I wonder if that'll be important. Zach also notices like a strange little light and assumes it's just another bug. This time, instead of spray painting it to death, he tries to catch it. This isn't a normal bug, however. It's Krista. When he does grab her, he stumbles into the path of the giant-ass machine and nearly gets crushed. Krista tries to warn him, but he can't see her, while she's trying to gift him with the gift of fairy sight. She flubs up and says sighs instead, shrinking poor Zachy boy. Batty swoops in and saves them both before they get guzzled up by the metal beast. However, once he realizes that Zach's a human, he predictably crashes again, flinging the pair to the forest floor. Being that Zach's unconscious and can't fly, Krista's concerned that he's dead, so she loots his body. We find out that he's a dog lover and only 16. Okay, like, I'm sure it's because they're trying to make it relatable to the kids watching, but like, isn't he a bit too young to be working for a lumber company in the dangerous rainforest? Whatever. Sleeping Beauty wakes up thinking she's going to gut him, and adorable little meet cute right there. Krista then remembers Batty crashed face first into a tree and goes to get him. When she tries to introduce him to Zach, they both freak out and try to kill one another.
He tried to kill you! I did not! You did!
Very funny stuff, really. Zach comes to his senses and finally realizes that something's up. He's like 3 inches tall. He seems to accept it pretty quick though, after Krista attempts to size him back up and fails miserably.
Oh, no. Annie do. Oh, orangutan. Okay, let me guess again. Oh, wait. A duck. Oh, it's Darwin's grab bag.
They resign to head back to FernGully and have Maggie fix him. It'd be super easy to just fly back, but Batty refuses to carry a human around and Krista can't carry him. So it's a slow journey. It's okay though, because Zach's decided to try his best to hit on Krista, because he's basically over the fact that they're different species. It leads to some interesting moments of Krista not understanding the human slang of the time and Zach not understanding how to speak to the forest. Meanwhile, the leveler, the giant machine, has reached the possessed tree that Zach accidentally tagged and cuts it down, releasing Hexus. Now, if you remember from the story from the beginning, you'll know that Hexus thrives off of pollution. This monstrosity is basically an all-you-can-eat buffet for him. He somehow passes off as the boss, I guess, because he taps into the PA system and tells the guys to head towards FernGully. How they know where FernGully is when I thought it was the name of the fairy settlement, I'll never understand. It doesn't matter, because we're gifted with the best song in this film, Toxic Love.
Toxic love.
My God, can Tim Curry sing? It doesn't matter what song it is. If I hear that man's velvety voice, I'm in love. Back with the protagonists. They've just arrived at FernGully, and immediately everyone is obsessed with Zach. Well, everyone except for Pips, that is. There's a bit of a love triangle going on. Pips then tries to one-up Zach by explaining what this mysterious object is. It's actually just Zach's Walkman, but he decides to watch Pips flounder for a bit before blasting some music, leading towards another musical scene. Afterwards, Pips and the Beetle Gang offer to show him some real fun, and that is if he's man enough. I'm guessing they were going to kill him or something, but we'll never know because Krista intervenes and shows him this underwater cave system thing. It's all romantic and teenage hormones are flowing, so of course the man kisses her. The good times end though when Zach realizes that the leveler is headed their way, and Maggie shows Krista the damage that's been done. Magic can only go so far and she can't repair the trees that have been cut down. It gets even worse when Zach admits to working for the logging company, causing all the destruction. Krista is distraught and runs or flies off. Maggie then holds some kind of fairy town meeting with a light show and everything. And long story short, she dies and gives Krista some wise words.
We all have a power, and it grows when it is shared.
But the morning has to wait because shit's about to go down. So let's hurry this up. Hexus comes out and starts destroying everything. Krista attempts to barricade him from the other fairies and fails. Zach and Pips are breaking into the leveler. Tiny Zach is able to turn that key, and the day is saved. Psych! Hexus comes back looking kind of scary for a kids movie, but Krista's got a secret weapon, a seed. She flies into Hexus's mouth, gets swallowed up, but plants the seed in his tummy, and it starts sprouting, and boom! He's a tree now, again. And he's gone. Krista, now with the power of nature or something, is able to return Zach to his normal size, where he tells his coworkers that it's time for a change, man. Oh yeah, Batty's still around, and now we're led into the credits with a beautiful dedication. End. Okay, so that was interesting, right? Yeah. I have some gripes, of course, so let's just get into it. Let's start off with the overall storyline and how it doesn't freaking make sense. It seems like they thought a straightforward environmental story wasn't going to keep the kids' attention, so they added musical numbers, more dynamic and goofy characters, and romance. It all makes it feel kind of jumbled, like a lot. This movie is only an hour and 14 minutes long, like 4 or 5 of those are credits. So it feels rushed, especially with everything that they try to shove into the story. There are characters that they introduce for their only purpose to be like 3-4 lines tops, or like a musical number, like this lizard guy. Even Cheech and Chong's characters were barely in it, yet they went through the trouble of introducing them like as Pip's entourage. In an interview with Cheech Marin, he says that they only worked for 2 or 3 hours, had pizza, and split. While I was watching, I thought that it seemed like they just let Cheech and Chong and Robin ad-lib a bunch of lines and just rolled with it. And with the lack of lip syncing and the fact that the two of them only record it for 3 hours max, I think I'm right. The director, Bill Croyer, admitted to liking Robin Williams' ad-libbed lines, of which he recorded 14 hours of, that they extended Batty Coda's screen time from 8 minutes to like most of the film. And speaking of Robin Williams, man, was there some drama there. None of his fault, I swear. So FernGully was Robin's first animated role. Just after he got the role of Batty, he also landed the role of Genie in Aladdin. And Disney did not like that. They had told Robin that he had to quit FernGully, and he refused because he'd been working with them first. In retaliation, Disney tried to block production as much as possible, going as far as to try to buy their studio. No one messes with the mouse, I guess. While we're on the topic, did you know that FernGully only became a possibility because of the success of The Little Mermaid? Before its release in 1988, animated movies were seen as like unprofitable, and Disney was nearly bankrupt. But because of Ariel and the gang, the Disney Renaissance had begun, and animated films became a viable option again. Now, bear with me. I want you all to look at Krista for a moment. Does she look familiar at all? Because I thought that she looked kind of like Ariel. So I looked up when The Little Mermaid was released, and it was about 4 years before FernGully. And I remember producer Wayne Young had said that the production took roughly 3 years. This may be controversial, but I think they based Krista's design and some other scenes off of Disney's film. There's the scene when Zach and Eric wake up from being rescued, how Krista and Ariel fly or swim, respectively, and even the rule of not going above the canopy or going to the surface of the ocean. You see what I mean? Like, maybe I'm just crazy, but I think I have a point here. I don't want to just trash on this movie, because for all its flaws, it's still a decent film. I remember thinking FernGully was beautiful the last time I watched it, and honestly, like, I still think that. It's not a masterpiece, but it's competent enough. I also read that the animation and design crew took a trip to the actual rainforest that it was based on, and much of the vegetation that's in the movie was based on real plants that they had found. I like that. It's very nice, and it shows that they were passionate. Throughout this movie, you can see a kangaroo pop in here and there, and I was about to have a fit when my partner joked that maybe it's based on the rainforest in Australia. I, an uneducated peasant, apparently did not know that there was even a rainforest in Australia. I only thought they existed in South America. And lo and behold, when I looked it up, it was true. So the kangaroo fits, and I didn't have to be dramatic. While I think there may have been too many musical breaks, some for the sole purpose of padding the runtime, I think, even though it already looked jumbled and rushed, I did enjoy a couple of the songs. Toxic Love is beyond the best thing to come out of this film, and Batty's song, while not good, is entertaining and fun. A big chunk of the credit goes to the performers, Tim Curry and Robin Williams, though, because they're kings, I guess. I think I should start to end things. Like I said before, I wanted this video to come out on or around Earth Day, And with that said, I'd like to direct you to where you can find more info on the holiday and where to donate to the cause in the link below. Also, in honor of Robin Williams and his character, I'm going to leave another link, this one for the Pennsylvania Bat Rescue, who do great work and could also use some donations. Please spread the love. Any questions, comments, complaints, leave them in the comment section below. However, please be nice to me. I'm sensitive.